Okay, so I thought I'd make a little video clip here about my SCOTSMAN Icemaker. And this is that Sonic crushed ice. This guy is probably about 8 years old, the ice maker. And one day it started making this grinding noise. And we've ended up replacing this, but if you're watching this video, you understand. You're watching this video for a reason, because likely you may have the same issue. So the Scotsman Icemaker has one of the flaws in this gearbox, and obviously this gearbox worked fine, looks horrible, just because of water that leaks out of the actual ice maker here. So this rotary drive turns around, the water freezes in there and it pushes the ice up. But water does melt and it falls down into the gearbox here, and there are seals. This is one of the seals, and I'll clean that off. That sits on top, and then water just kind of like beads off, and all is well, but water still kind of gets into there. And unknown to me, right? I don't know anything about these. I saved this one because they were going to throw it away, and these things are like $5,000. I think we paid $4,500 for a new one, and that's just stupid money. So I said, I ain't throwing that away. I'm going to see if I can fix it or figure out what's wrong with it. So I've taken it apart, and in the gearbox, this is what's actually wrong. All the gears are good, but we've got a bad bearing. So you can see this one spins nice and good. This is the bottom bearing, and then this is the top. And that hole is where that auger goes down into there and spins. But what's happened, unfortunately, is water has been allowed to pass through this seal and has gotten down into this bearing, and that bearing it's seized up completely, and you can see the rust, that's accumulated. We won't see it there, but on this gear you can see, just because water and then the lithium grease that was down in there just kind of mixed together. But it seized the bearing up, and that was the noise that we started hearing. This thing was just making a horrific noise. And yeah, it was the bearing. Because what had happened is that now the bearing was spinning in the aluminum here. And that's what was making the crazy noise. So when the bearing went bad, just spun a bearing. I guess you would in a motor. So what's really cool about this stuff, though, is now Scotsman does not sell any kind of repair. And if you Google these gearboxes, they sell for crazy money. The gearbox itself is like $2,000, and that's what was wrong with that unit. And so you could have paid $2,000, I guess, but obviously everything else is old on the unit. There is another issue with the auger. I'll show you that. But these seals cost nothing. So this is a new one, and there's one on the top, one on the bottom. This is the seal. I mean, this is, if anyone's in automotive, you would already know ins and outs of some of this stuff, but there are markings on these seals and these bearings, and then you just go online and find them. And so there's a marking, if I can see it, but you see that TC, and then it's 3047, and that has to do with the millimeters, inside and outside diameter. And you just go online, you just find it. But that seal right there was like $4 times 2, so not expensive. This is the bearings, and on the bearings, you can find the stamp number on it, and this is the replacement bearing. But I actually got these off of Amazon. Crazy, right? And I think I paid for the pair here under $20. So it's, to repair this, it's going to be under $40. to put the new bearings on. But you just have the ability, obviously, to get the bearings off and get new ones on. So you'll need a press and obviously a little bit of ingenuity to get that off. So that's pretty cool. So I'll be able to get that back together without a problem. One issue though is because the corrosion is so bad, I did snap 2 of these bolts, one there, and so they'll have to be drilled, likely tapped, and that can be a pain in the butt. So this is not necessarily an amateur type of repair, but is very, very feasible. The other issue that I have come to discover, maybe I'll pull it up over here, is this. So in the auger, this is quite the flaw here. This is the bushing that they use, and the auger comes up through the top of this and pushes the ice out through the top. But this bearing, which is made of some sort of graphite material, if we look here close, you're going to see that is not centered. And the bearing, bushing, sits right here, and it is all wallered out. That's unfortunate that they've created, so this is a frictionless sleeve here, bushing, and that's good because there's no bearing material here. This has to sit and spin. But because they did that, that's a wearable item. So this is the second, so the motor going out is the second most common wear complication with this unit. The number one is the auger. So that bushing, when that bushing goes bad, that auger starts to make contact on the inside cylinder here. And then that puts metal in your ice. And if we look closely, you can see the score marks on here. So that white seal there, that's okay. Water does pass by that and just runs through the bottom when this thing obviously defrosts. But that auger, these fins are not supposed to make contact on the inside here. And unfortunately, they have a little bit. I will buff them out. It is still functionable, but it makes a grinding noise as well. Now, this is not difficult to find either because you'll just take a caliper and you measure the inside-outside diameter. And I was able to do that, and I don't remember what exactly they were. But again, I bought a brass one, and no, it's not brass. Something of that nature. I forget what it was. But again, this is, I couldn't find this exact material because I don't even know what it is. But the bushing, I think, was like 15 bucks again. And I don't know if Amazon or some online reseller. But it will just slide down into there, sleeve into there, and then it'll come up through that, catch the auger. So anyways, kind of cool. But again, they don't sell a rebuild kit. So, but this is a usable gasket. It's kind of a plastic gasket. You just need to get new seals, new bearings, lithium grease, right? Nothing fancy. And take it apart, clean it out, put it back together, and you've got a good gearbox. When you're disassembling these, you have to take the back side out. You don't have to touch any of the refrigerant, which is really nice. So the compressor stays down in there. Refrigerant lines come up here. But what you can do is when you kind of unbolt it, you can lift this and bend this kind of out to get to the bolts underneath. You do not want to come through the front door to disassemble it. That'll make it impossible. So my goal is to repair it, get it functional. And obviously won't be in my house because I already have a new one. But it would be to maybe, resell it or put it in a shop or, take it to work, put it in the office, something like that. But anyways, hope you find this intriguing. Hope it inspires you to get out in your garage and fix something. Thanks for watching.